We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Now, this podcast is going to be a little different. It's kind of an extra podcast. This doesn't replace any other podcast. We have the normal podcast, but we've had a lot of guests on as of late. And when I have guests on, I don't have the opportunity to read emails. Maybe I'll have to think of a different way to structure the podcast because the emails come. I have an obligation to read those emails. But in this particular instance, what I'm going to do is just do an extra one. Now, this podcast will probably be shorter than they normally are because it'll be strictly emails. But I wanted to get to them, and that's what we're going to do today. Old Soul is on the podcast, the regular podcast today. Will be on tomorrow, and there'll be other guests as we go along. Ed will hopefully be back and all that sort of stuff. But I got to get to the emails. So that's what the fuck we're going to do right now. First one comes from Marilyn. She says, I love your messages on Facebook. You got me hooked on Arlene Unfiltered, and I watch her videos. However, the video clip stops before she is finished talking. Do you have an email address for her so that I may tell her this? Thank you for always making me feel less stressed about shitty political mess this country has been in since Trump got on the scene. Marilyn. I don't have an email for her. I don't think. You might want to check her profile. You can DM her or something like that. You know, sometimes people who are relatively new to TikTok get some of those things clipped or they go too long. I don't know what it is exactly. I'll check into it. I'll check with her about it and see if she's aware of a problem. So, Marilyn, thank you for that. The next one, this is a commercial running every few minutes here for Trump that says Kamala Harris released an illegal alien that murdered the son of Don Rosenberg. I have not been able to find a reputable source of the truth of this story. I try to debunk this stuff with my MAGA family, not that it works. Honestly, they bombarded me with so much I can't keep up. It's probably pointless to try. Amanda. Well, Amanda, I will tell you, as a guy who's talked to plenty of Trumplafucks, had them on the show for that matter, it is pointless. I mean, these people are brainwashed, essentially, or part of a cult. You can argue all day and all night, they will never believe anything. If you give them absolute facts, they will deny it, or they'll say they never heard that. So, the point is don't argue with them, Amanda. There is no value in doing that. It's not going to help you at all, and you're not going to win. All we can do is beat them in the election, and hopefully they'll shut up and climb back under their rocks. But even then, who knows what's going to happen? All right, the next one says, Hi, Mike. I have an important message for all Republicans out there. Now that James Comer has announced a frivolous investigation on Tim Walz's ties with China, I only hear trash talk about Comer on different podcasts and creators' content. What now? We can't make futile investigations anymore? You all leave this mentally ill man alone? He's an elected official. Mike Boomer should be next in line for an investigation, by the way. Anyway, the true Republicans know that teaching English in China is a cover-up for being brainwashed and reformatted to communism. Give children a meal a day so they can be free of basic needs in order to learn important things in school. It's all fake news, a hoax and a witch hunt. You know what I say to this man. Keep at it, James. Keep on doing the frivolous, stupid, and unimportant investigations before the Democrats make that illegal too. Go MAGA, Panzer. Now, for those of you new to the show, I just have to tell you, Panzer's doing this tongue in cheek, so don't get pissed off. Thank you, Panzer, for the input. All right, next one comes from Old Soul, who happens to be on the show today. Not this show, the show that's already running. Hey, Boomer, heads up. This topic has me pissed off, so my apologies if my anger and frustration bubbles over in this email. I just listened to the podcast with Will Will said something I hear after every mass shooting. Name a single red flag law that could have prevented this. Like Will, hearing people say this angers me. Honestly, it should anger any sane person who cares about children. But not only can I give a single red flag law, I can list five. Here we go. I've told you before, do not get old soul wound up. First red flag law. An assault weapons ban. These gun nuts have no problem with book banning, so I don't want to hear anything about bans on assault weapons. Second red flag law. Mandatory prison for neglectful and irresponsible gun owners. If Colin Gray knew he'd be held accountable for his son's actions after being warned by the FBI, he could have thought twice about his actions and neglect. Third red flag law, mandatory mental health clearance before being able to purchase a gun. Fourth red flag law, proof of safe storage for all guns and random safety checks by law enforcement. Fifth red flag law, the ability of law enforcement to remove all guns from the home once a resident has been reported and not have the guns returned until a mental health professional gives clearance. Not only would this prevent mass shootings, but it would also reduce suicides. I don't want to hear one more person say red flag laws won't work. We have examples in literally every other country that these laws do work. How do we know? Because their children aren't being slaughtered in their classrooms. So anyone using that tired old talking point can shove it. Our earthbound angel is fired up. All the don't tread on me folks can sit down and shut up because they are silent. When the government treads on women's rights, LGBTQ plus rights, immigrants' rights, the rights of our children not to be gunned down in school, they use don't tread on me because they are cowards and can't admit their true feelings. They'd rather choose guns over children. These people are hypocrites. They don't mind the government treading on rights just as long as it's not their perceived rights. Oh, since J.D. Vance and Trump don't think guns are a problem in America, how about they remove the mags and bulletproof glass from the stage at the rallies? They know it's a problem and they don't care. They have no problem protecting themselves, but when it comes to us and our children, them giving zero fucks is an understatement. Thanks for what you do, old soul. Well, thank you, old soul. She is fired up and she has every right to be. I think we're all fired up about the gun problem in this country, and the school shooting was just another reminder that our government refuses to do fuck all about it. All right. Next one says, "Hi, Boomer. I'm Karen from North Carolina. First of all, thank you for what you do. Your podcast has become my favorite and a daily must listen. Thank you very much. I left a comment on the podcast from my Spotify account under my Spotify username, whatever95, a couple of weeks ago, basically telling you the same thing. I think I read it too. Your attitude of stop trying to find something to worry about is exactly the positive reinforcement that I need on the daily and an ease to my anxiety. As a lifelong Dem, I'm just so used to us not being able to have nice things, LOL. The polls seem way too close to be accurate, and the mainstream media always seems to sane wash and sanitize all of Trump's lies and absurdities. I just don't understand it unless their parent companies benefit from a Trump presidency financially or something. But basically, the mainstream media has lost most all journalistic integrity and credibility. And I would have to agree with you on that. This message may be long and rambling, as I've been meaning to message for a while now, and I have a million different thoughts in my jumbled up brain. I pray for Harris Wall's victory for so many reasons, not least of which is that I feel like we as Americans have been in an abusive relationship with a narcissist, and we're all suffering from PTSD. I think you're right on with that. I've said that myself. I mentioned in my podcast comment, I'm Gen X, which I understand kind of makes me old, LOL. Not as old as me. But I find myself agreeing with you politically on really nearly everything you mention on your show. I truly enjoy your guest And y'all are the best part of my day each day. I also enjoy the Not a Podcast TikTok updates. Thank you very much. And the reason you and I are probably closer in our opinions is that while I am a boomer, I'm a very young boomer. The boomer generation goes from 1946 to 1964, and I was born in 60. So I'm right on the cusp of Gen X. Here are a few of my random thoughts. First of all, Jimmy Carter was president when I was a very small child. I'm hoping with all my heart he lives long enough to cast the vote come early voting time in Georgia. I think he's such a wonderful man and the antithesis of Donald Trump. Secondly, do you think a great portion of Trump's campaign is being financed by Russia? I certainly do. Isn't it ironic how bots, etc., were able to make mass reports and get Midas Touches TikTok accounts all disabled at once? That's a bit more organization than just a few random stupid Trumplicans can pull off. I'm also hoping that when more of Jack Smith's superseding indictments come out, that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Elon Musk, Ginny, and Clarence Thomas all get some legal comeuppance. I laughed along with your comments regarding the Bush Cheney years, as I feel the exact same way. I thought the nation couldn't seem to sink any lower than to elect them, although I maintained the election was stolen from Gore. Who knew Trump would come along and make W seem downright presidential? Another point I've been pondering: when Musk and others encourage the pick of J.D. Vance, I'm thinking it's because they don't see Trump living long enough to fulfill a 4-year term. And they figured that Vance was soulless and heartless enough to push all of their Project 2025 agenda right down all our throats with no regards for humanity. Yeah, actually, Old Soul was the first one to suggest this to me, and I tend to agree. I know this was random and rambling, and I probably still missed dozens of talking points I wanted to make. LOL. I'm sending this roughly 3 hours before the debate starts on September 10th, and I'll close by telling you that my sister in law just called. She's fully brainwashed, oh so Christian trumpet, trying to convince her brother, my husband, to promise her he won't vote for Harris. Well, that call went hilariously badly for her. What that tells me is that the trumpets are very worried. That warms my heart. Bye for now. I'll probably email you more routinely from now on. Hopefully to the point where you know me as Karen from NC, North Carolina. Well, I know you as such now that you've sent this first email. And of course, you're welcome to send any emails you like. And as a listener of the show, you're also qualified to be on the show if you'd like. If you have a lot of things to say, by all means, email me. Tell me you'd like to be on, and we'll try to figure out a time that works out for everybody. All right, this next one comes from Jay. He says, "Hi, Mike. Jay from California. Just got done watching the debate, and boy, was it a 180 from DDD's debate with Joe Biden. Kamala sounded sharp, confident, and smart from the beginning, while DDD looked sweaty, blustery, and shat water from his mouth the entire time, like we knew he would. I mean, immigrants eating pets. Really, motherfucker." Or as I would say, motherfucker, please. Plus, moderators did live fact checking, and it's now out that TS just endorsed Kamala, Taylor Swift. And I'm dreaming, am I dreaming, or did Christmas come early? Back from Hawaii, best from Jay. Thank you, Jay. All right, the next one comes from John. Madam Vice President had a wonderful debate tonight. She shared with the American people her plan moving forward, and Trump was intimidated by her after the debate. Taylor Swift announced her endorsement for Mrs. Harris Wall's campaign. John, yeah, that Taylor Swift thing is a big deal. You know, most entertainers, it's nice to have, but Taylor Swift is probably the most successful, most powerful, most influential entertainer on the planet currently. And her endorsement is worth something. I know she put a link for people to register to the vote, and some 300,000 people did just that. So she's got some power. We know it. Donald Trump knows it. and it scares the shit out of him. And I'm happy to know that. And as one of the previous emailers said, Donald Trump and the Republicans are terrified. They can see the writing on the wall. They see that this isn't going to go well. So um, I enjoy them being scared, but we got to keep that fear in place. We got to keep the pressure on. As Old Soul said on the show, people in the precincts and such that she's working in to canvass for this election, you got to run through the tape. And I'd have to agree with her. All right, the next one says, Hi, Boomer. I watched a post debate interview with a group of undecided voters. One participant said she is now voting for Trump. Her rationale was she is voting for a leader, not a wedding guest. Further, she stated her life was better under Trump, lower food and gas prices, better lifestyles. Newsflash: every Western country experienced the same effects over the last 5 years, primarily due to COVID. It is staggering that this is seemingly normal person believes that an erratic, emotional, selfish old man, possibly entering dementia, is the best choice for her country. I have seen a number of seniors rapidly decline after 75 years of age. It usually does not end well. Trump is not what he was in 2016. He's worse. Thank you, Paul. Well, I will tell you this, Paul. There is a certain faction of people in this country that you will never convince. They will vote for Donald Trump. They're misinformed, ill advised, and they're flat out fucking stupid. Don't worry about trying to shift everybody's common sense to use common sense. You're not going to be able to do it. We just need a majority or a decisive majority to do it. We can't fix everybody. They'll be left in the dust when it's all said and done. So don't worry about those people you can't fix. Some people are just fucking unfixable. All right. These are some comments that came to the podcast page. I think JD Vance tried to clear his name when he said that he had heard that Haitians in Springfield were eating a lot of pussy. M. Okay. Not that funny. A little provocative. I said I'd read it. I read it. There you fucking go. Boomer, obviously diapers really actually is in mental decline. Oh, referring to diapers as Donnie. Conspiracy theory aside, what do you think he'll be sent to the showers? Z-Man. Not going to be sent to the showers. He's going to be the candidate. They really have no choice. If they pull Donnie Trump out now, who are they going to put in there? JD fucking Vance? It'll be worse for him. And the second thing is to consider, if they pull Donald Trump out from the nomination, then all the Trump-la-fucks will refuse to vote. And then all the down ballot people will lose votes too. So he's going to be the candidate unless he keels over, fingers crossed. But he's not going to get sent to the showers. If they were going to send him to the showers, they should have done that 2 fucking years ago. Said, don't run because we don't need you. All right, the next one says they should also have pressed him on if he had any regrets on how he handled the pandemic and lied about it that got people killed. Demetriarch. There's a lot of stuff they could cover. There's too much stuff to cover. All we needed to do is what Kamala did. Press him, press him, press him, hit him with everything. There's no way you're going to everything you can. There's no way with that you can hit him with everything he's done. There's just too much. I think the debate went perfectly. I think Kamala Harris performed perfectly. That's the best we could hope for, and I'm satisfied. John says, delicious. I watched his eyes darting back and forth and knew he was cornered and afraid, which gave me joy. I think that gave us all a lot of fucking joy. All right, the next one says, hi, Mike. Jesus Christ, I was underestimated how bad of a night Trump was going to have. His debate performance was abysmal, and the memes and videos coming out about it are hilarious. One of the best trends I'm seeing is about the illegal aliens eating pets and using Elf as the illegal alien, Elf from the old TV show. She had him on defense from the handshake, and if this debate had been before the Republican convention, I seriously think the Republicans would have tried to nominate anyone else. Kamala is baiting him for a second debate on Fox. Trump even hinted he might be up for it with Hannity or Ingraham as moderators. He ain't going to do it because it doesn't make a difference. Kamala will still kick his fucking ass. Kamala did everything she needed to do in that debate. Thanks, Eric, our friend Eric, a frequent guest. All right, the next one comes from Lee. Dear Mike, if I may, I watch YouTube and not much else. Saw your video, keep up, and learned you communicate with some folks via email. I have three pieces that might interest you. One about Lincoln on the Declaration, another link to that through Benjamin Franklin. Finally, one that uses the self in an idea relevant to abortion and brain death. Can you please send me your email? Would you like to discuss with you? But they are too long for the text box on the web. Best regards, Lee. I thought everybody knew the email address, but apparently not. So the email address is rationalboomer@gmail.com. You're more than welcome to send me an email at any time. And if you have a lot you want to talk about, again, hit me up and see if we can't get you on the program. All right, this one says, Hi, Mike. Dennis from Iowa. I believe one way to get Trump to agree to a second debate is for Kamala Harris tell him she don't think she needs another debate. That will just fuck with his head, and he'll want to do it even more. What do you think? What are the reverse psychology? Yeah, he's dumb enough to fall for something like that. I would say, yeah, I think I did all I could. I kicked his ass, so we don't need another one. You're probably right. That would be an interesting way to bait him again. And clearly, she's had some success in baiting him. Hey, Mike, I ate, I drank, I was merry. Actually, I drank a little too much, but I didn't know how entertaining watching a debate could be. Word has it the diapered POS, piece of shit, is still on the stage in Philadelphia. This is just after the debate, looking for his balls. He seemed to lose them right after Kamala shook his tiny hand. Here's what I don't get, Boomer. Trump's platform relies on two kinds, the overly rich and the overly stupid. I understand the overly rich backing him, but please help me out with the overly stupid. Well, they're stupid. I'm honestly astonished by now how many blind sheep fall into this category. I tried to rationalize their thought process by watching Fox News and Newsmax, but I couldn't do it for long because I could actually feel it rotting my brain. All the lies and bullshit he spreads. Exactly how obtuse does one need to be to keep supporting him? It's mind numbing come to the realization that so much of the population is actually that stupid. He was visibly shaken and flustered the entire time, yet some of these morons actually think he won that debate. I just can't wrap my head around how anyone could possibly think that. No matter, I can no longer worry about all those dolts living in this country. He's going to get his ass handed to him in the election. And then Judge Marchand is going to hand down a severe sentencing with plenty of jail time when this happens. I'm throwing a party, and if you're in the area, you're invited. All the best, Philly Paul. All right. Paul comes back. He forgot something. Sorry, Mike. I know I just emailed you, but one thing I forgot to mention before Harris named her VP, I was hoping for Shapiro or Buttigieg. Now looking back, I couldn't imagine it being anyone but Walz. What a smart decision. He fits the bill so perfectly. Just another example of why she's the right person for the job. Have a good one, Philly Paul. All right. Next one says, Hello, Boomer and Boomer Brigade. We know that Duck Eater Donnie has the endorsement of the police union. Are they aware that Melania released a book this week along with a video message about the assassination attempt on my husband? That's her speaking. She is holding law enforcement responsible, including Secret Service. I thought they were pro police. So they get the endorsement, and then she starts blaming the police for the shooting. Excuse me. This is batshit crazy. Better than moose and squirrel. Anyone paying attention to this mess, do with this as you will, Mike. As Ozzy said, all aboard the crazy train. And that, of course, comes from Z-Man. Wrap up this extra email show, and we couldn't do that without an email from Garage Door Jeff. Hi, Boomer. Was Trump talking about eating the pets in Springfield, his Captain Queeg moment? Ed had referred to that scene with Humphrey Bogart in the Caine Mutiny, and I'm interested in you and Ed's 2 cents on that. Best Garage Door Jeff. P.S. Oh my God, the videos on TikToks of dogs and cats reacting to his words are the funniest things since Bernie Sanders' takeoffs with the parka and mittens. I don't know if you've seen those. You've got Donald Trump's voice and a dog with a frightened look on his face. They are pretty funny. I'll give you that, Garage Door Jeff. They are hilarious. And hopefully we'll be talking to Ed this week, and he would be on Saturday if we can connect up. And I will certainly ask him. I'm sure he's got some interesting input as to how the debate went. Ed. He'll go back in history and compare it to the Lincoln Douglas fucking debates because I think he was there. I give him shit about being older because he's one of the few people that are in fact older than me. So that is the Extra Rational Boomer podcast, all emails. We got them out. There'll be more coming in. We'll figure out how the emails come into play in future podcasts. But for now, I want you to continue listening to the Old Soul podcast. Tomorrow will be Will. So we got a lot of shit coming your way between now and November 5th. It's going to be a busy motherfucker out here. And we'll do what we can to keep you apprised of what's happening, where it's happening, how it's happening, and how fucked Donald Trump is going to be. So you have a great day. We will talk to you again, not tomorrow. We'll talk to you right now, to the next, whatever. We're talking to you all the fucking time. So have a nice day.